All right, everybody, welcome to the Studying Brew episode 1103. 1103 episodes tonight on the Studying Brew. It is a Wednesday. We did not have the brew on the Tuesday. We're doing a lot of what do they call those activities at the end of the year for the kids? Had to be there as parents, had to go root on our choir singer. So it went great. She hit all the altos.
Yes, all the notes.
One would say she was high in those notes. She's an alto. Get it? No. Anyways, we're back. It is Wednesday. We're going to do test taking techniques on this Wednesday. It is that edge that you've been looking for to get that score up. This is the 30 minutes of free. It is a little bit of how do you get that right? Right?
Yes. I feel like it's a whole lot of how do you get that right?
How do you get that right? How do you get that right when I don't know anything? How do you get that right when I am tired? How do you get that right when I am time crunched? How do you get that right when I'm just trying to guess?
Yes.
How do you get that right when I just don't know, Brandy, because I didn't have a quart of Red Bull today? By the way, we are not sponsored by Red Bull. We do not promote them.
Well, I don't
They
know,
don't
man.
pay for us. We're not invested in them.
Red Bull, if you want to reach out, I'd be willing to talk.
We are willing to put those wings on for a price. That's what Brandy's saying.
Yeah.
More me. But that's not the point. The point is, how do we get that right?
Right.
How do we just do it? Guys, that is the hardest part with test taking techniques for some people is they want to know why, how, what. Some people, they just like, I don't care as long as I get it right. And that's the right mentality, honestly. It's just, how do I get a pass notice? How do I get it right so I can get a pass notice? And that is the way you need to approach it. By the way, my name is Andy. I'm the guy that runs the back office over here at KonaButterflyz. And what a busy day it was today. My day started at 3 a.m. This morning.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying my plane is running a little low, but we made it. We got here. But you're not here for me and my plane issues. You're here for Brandy. She's got her Series 6, 63, 26, 65, and that Series 7 running high on all that caffeine today and ready to help you out with these test taking techniques. Let's just get into it, Brandy. Let's go. And I always say, if you have not got a look, this is the number one thing about Kona. Number one, I want to clear something up. Something was brought up to me today, by the way. Um, a lot of times people tune into the Studying Brew,
right,
and they're under the impression of somehow, some way, that we're going to do a securities class tonight or any night.
Right.
We're not doing a securities class at night.
Yeah.
We're not teaching you like per se hey, let's go over options for sometimes we do a little taste.
Sometimes.
A little taste, a little truffle.
Yeah.
Right. If we were a candy store, just giving you a little truffle. But for the most part, we're not going over some topic for some exam. We're not doing the class. We're not the same as everybody else, is what I'm trying to say. Nor I don't think will we ever be the same as everybody else. No. But the thing about it is that um we are focused on passing an exam. When we go through our content, that content is done on your own time. Why? Because I almost want to say content is so secondary.
Plus, I feel like we all have to learn it in our own way. That some want to go slower, some want to go faster, some feel like they need to know everything. Some people understand that they don't need to know everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And also, when you go to a live session, when you go to somewhere in person, whether it's in class or school or in a seminar or at your office, I feel like when you get in front of somebody and you do something live, I want to give you something fresh. I want to give you something that rewards you for your dedication and commitment and consistency to be on that session, where you're going to get something where you can't just simply go open a book and go read it yourself. No, you had to be there. You got to learn that one thing, that little edge, that bit that made you, that rewards you for being there. And on these live sessions, whether it's this or mainly if you're going to go to the day sessions, which is the members, there's less talking about stuff like this because we're already about that. Brandy's giving you that positive mental attitude. She's giving you that breakdown of that information in easy to understand terms as it relates to exam questions. Meaning, we're going into different Q banks. We're having different looks at stuff. We're going in there and she's showing you how to apply the information, not necessarily going over information again and again. We're not going to have another fifth class about options. We're not going to spend a whole morning on going over day 1, day 4, day 5. Guys, that could slow you down.
Right.
Doing that kind of way slows everything down to a crawl. I think one of the biggest mistakes we ever did was try to do something like that, because literally people would go so slow. And it's like we could have got this done in like 21 days or less. Literally,
Right.
that is all of our program. So if you have not gotten onto it, we have a 21-day program or a 30-day program if you're in the 65. We have a way, and most of the all of the ways that we do it is the content is done very quick, and then we're just killing it in the exams. We're learning how to just apply. We're learning a system where you literally plug in whatever exam, whatever quiz, whatever anything that is. It's almost, it doesn't even matter because you're learning a system to pass any exam. Um, I think I mentioned it today during the day. I don't know, my days are all running together, but we even had somebody on TikTok reach out and say, "Hey, will this help me like pass my medicals for for my I guess med school?"
Yeah, for med school.
And yeah, it doesn't matter what you plug into the system. It doesn't matter what you plug into the system. So we're trying to teach you a system on how to pass professional exams. If someone asks me what is KonaButterflyz, it's a system in which you use to pass professional exams. Period. It's not teach me the SIE. It's not about teach me the six. It's about learning to pass multiple exams to get from A to B to C to D, so that way you can get all that you need to do. So that way you can be that licensed professional and be done with it, because it doesn't usually stop with one exam for any of you. So it makes sense to learn a system. It doesn't matter what exam it is. So if you haven't joined us yet, get in on that and learn the system. Our live exam mastery sessions and the sessions we do and during the day could be just exactly what we charge on that fee, to be honest with you, and have zero content. That's how good it is. Get into those live exam sessions, get into those all member sessions. Small group tutoring is also available, all that great stuff. Scan the QR code, hit the links. We got books for sale, the SIE, the 663, 26, 65. We got it all. Check it out. Everything is in that link tree. So scan that QR code. The Kona community. Someone asked today, when do I use that Discord? Do you got a question?
Got a question. Do you need to hold yourself accountable and it's easier to do that with a group?
Do you want a friend
There you
that's
go.
help study with you?
Yeah.
Do you want to be in a community, guys?
Yes.
A community. Someone was asking us today, you guys should really start a community. I was like, clearly you have not seen the studying brew. You have not seen me preach that this is a Kona community on that Discord. It is a community of people studying together,
Yes.
multiple exams, helping each other out, raising with the tide. So make sure to get in on that Discord. I think I don't know if they're still doing some people are doing the study group before the brew, but join in on all that's going on over on the Discord. Check it all out. Scan the QR code, hit the links, 951-290-3077. Give me a call, give me a text, ask me what's up. So,
What's up?
hey, you can just ask what's up. That's fine with me. KonaButterflyz at Gmail. That is our email. So check that out. All right. Tomorrow's schedule is Thursday. We got the SIE, we got the 65, we got Kona Study Hall, we got small group tutoring. Anything you want to say about this, all these sessions? Just be there.
Just be there. They're going to be I chose topics that purposely are over the top confusing and we're going to simplify them tomorrow in a multiple choice format.
More than likely, it's one of those one topics that you guys just beat your heads against the wall and take way too much time on. Brandy's going to simplify it so you can get you through that, so we can accelerate the process and move past it and
Yes.
get a dang pass notice.
Yes.
SIE 65. We got Kona Study Hall. We got the small group tutoring. Be sure to be on those sessions. If you are a member, remember the access and schedule drops about an hour before the session even starts. You have that. Also, if you are a member, it is the same old member session code for the month of May. All right. If you're not following us on Instagram, I wish you would. I tell you what, I really would. I tell you what, because when they let me know,
Mhm.
sometimes in dramatic fashion,
Yeah.
sometimes with tears
I got
welling up in the eyes.
I got the call today.
Brandy got the call, not me. Maybe with some hooting and hollering.
I was in the middle of a NPR at
Not
the
you. No one talked. No one cares about where you were when you received the call. It's all about this person calling in, and they were really, really emotional because this was an emotional ride. And I just want to say congratulations. It has happened.
Yes.
Juan Jimenez is fully licensed. Congratulations to Juan Jimenez on passing the Series 63 and getting it done. He is fully licensed. And if you're in Primerica and if you don't know Juan Jimenez, he is an RVP.
Yes, he is.
This has been an Achilles heel for years.
Yes, this has been a journey of all journeys.
I love the man,
Yes.
but this has been his weakest point
Yes.
in his journey to where he wants to be
Uh-huh.
and in his goals.
Yes.
One of the biggest things about it is that how do you explain it? It is almost like the exams were beating him before he even tried them sometimes. It
Yes.
was really tough sometimes. But once he committed to the system, like
Yes.
we've been talking about, it has been a much better ride for him. I mean, he got his SIE in his six last year. He's finishing it out with the 63. And one of the hardest parts, and I'm talking directly to people in Primerica, one of the hardest parts about passing these securities exams is that once you get to that RVP status and then you try to go get your license, you get in on that you didn't have it. It is one of the hardest things to do because you're trying to run an office, you're trying to manage people, you're trying to go pay the bills and do everything you can to help out your community and just be there and then go study this stuff. It doesn't get easier the more higher up you get. It's better to get it when you're first starting opposed to when you're at that upper level. It gets only more complicated and
Absolutely.
it was really tough for him.
It was.
And I'm not saying that he's a he can't handle stuff. He can.
Oh yeah, no. He's
This
boss.
and if anything I can say about Juan is that you should learn from him is that you never give up. You never quit. You never stop because you can't let a piece of paper, you can't let these things define who you are. You just keep punching back until you finally get the knockout. And that's what we got here. He did he well, let's just say he was going to be on tonight and talk, but this has been something he's been that has been really, people that know him knows that he's been working so hard to get this thing done, and people showed up last minute.
Yeah.
A little celebration happened.
Yeah.
He's all, listen, I'm a trooper. Should I call from the jacuzzi? We're all, as much as I would love for you to call in from the party jacuzzi, I think it would be loud
No,
and
no.
confusing.
Just
We'll just wait,
just wait.
but it is much deserved. What he said, what helped was, well, quite simply, three words: God, faith, and Kona. I mean, I should drop the mic at that,
Yeah, we should just hear
but he
him.
had more. I finally passed my Series 63 today after many attempts. It wasn't easy. Actually, he didn't have that many attempts on the 63. It was more the SIE that killed him.
Yeah. The
So
process.
the process, I think, is more or less what he's going at.
Yeah.
But yeah. In the last time he took the 63, he just ran out of time. This time he was way more prepared for that, and we worked on the techniques and really getting him past in that time crunch. I finally passed my Series 63 today after many attempts. It wasn't easy. Honestly, there were moments I felt frustrated, moments I questioned myself, but I refused to quit. And that's what I want to pass on to you. Success doesn't always come on the first try. Sometimes it takes grit. Sometimes it takes patience. Sometimes it takes falling over and over, but refusing to give up. What matters most is that you keep showing up and keep swinging. If you are facing something hard right now, whether it's a license, a goal, or just life, remember this: quitting guarantees failure. Persistence eventually guarantees growth. Let this be a reminder that you are not disqualified just because it's taking you longer. You are being built in the process, period. period. I mean, that is some great words right there. I'm just
That
saying,
is.
that is some great words. And we've said this many a times on here, and we've said it many a times in person. We've said it many times on all the different sessions. Guys, you cannot let falling down or failures decide who you are. You can't, because it will become who you are if you let it.
Right.
The only failure, really, honestly, is when you give up trying. When you stop trying is when you fail. That's really, honestly, the only failure there is. It doesn't matter what papers say. It doesn't matter how many times it is. It doesn't matter what you have to do to get there, as long as you get there. And let me tell you guys, after working with so many different people who've gotten these pass notices and so many people that are fully licensed, no one ever really cares how many times it took you to pass that SIE 663, 2665.
Never. Never been
Clients don't
asked.
care.
Never been asked.
Never been asked. No one cares. That's a personal thing. That's a personal journey. That's a personal thing about way you feel about yourself. It's about you how you builds your character, what it says about you. It's not necessarily anything that anybody outside cares about. So you can't let those things define you, and you can't definitely get caught up on everybody else being able to get that thing before you can. You can't, because above all else, you have to remember it's in God's time.
Always.
Always. That means there was things that needed to happen for Juan to have this moment right now. There was things that he was being built up, as he said. I was being built. He was being built. He's not the same Juan who started this journey years ago. He is a different person. He's a better leader, and we are so proud of him and what has happened in this journey and how he got here. And so deserving. But it's not just about Juan. Congratulations. Super
Super.
excited. You guys have no idea. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's very emotional.
Yes.
Uh,
So proud of him.
we almost have to move on so that way we don't tear up.
Yes.
But it's not just about one, it's about you. It's about getting you to that pass notice. And one of those things that's going to help you out, just like it helped Juan shorten up his time and really get into that 63 and get that final pass notice, it is about the techniques. So tonight, let's do the test taking techniques. Today, we actually met with a team. Shout out to the Parker Powerhouse. We met up with a team, and it was funny because sometimes when we meet up with teams, we talk about, this is KonaButterflyz, what we do, this is blah, 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 blah. And I try to veer away from normal, I don't want to say sales pitches. I don't like to do that. I don't like to sell it. I think we should show them exactly what it is and let that be the thing. Brandy literally jumped on a call, did a 10 question
Yeah.
SIE quiz.
Yeah.
I told her to do it at Brandy's speed, but she slowed down.
I feel it's hard to do. Never mind. Go ahead.
She did it in 7 minutes. She knocked it out in 7 minutes. And literally, people were like, why am I struggling with this? Yes, why are you struggling with this? Sometimes you got to just get that technique in there and get the dang thing right. Just click on it. And she was doing that all day long. She was showing people how to get these questions right without having content. And that's what we're going to do tonight. She's going to do the same thing tonight. I don't know about a 7 minute process,
No.
but she's going to go through some questions. She's going to show you how to get to answers without little to no content. And we're going to start with answers first. Why? Because that leads you to read the question with intent. Today, I think I had a brilliant analogy, and I'll drop it on you guys. Look, if you have, for instance, what I mean by reading answers first, if in your answer bank, right, of the answers, A, B, C, D, you have taco, you got burrito, you got hamburger, you got egg rolls. Okay? We know it's about food. We know what they all look like. We know basically what content they're in there, right? Boom, we reveal the question. It's like a paragraph long. It's a whole story about some dude walking down the street, going into different stores. But within that text, we see beans, we see rice, we see cheese, we see a tortilla. Do we need to read any more into that question? We automatically know it's a burrito. You know what I mean? It's a burrito. So just click it. That's all. Boom, done. But that's how easy it is. So that's the techniques and strategies. But in the securities forum, we'll be doing that tonight. And we got rules to test taking techniques Tuesday. Rule number one, you're not allowed to ask what exam did it come from because it's irrelevant. These work on multiple different exams. It doesn't matter. It's taking advantage of the system in which they write these things. It doesn't matter what Q bank. It doesn't matter if it's the real exam. It doesn't matter if it's a high school proficiency exam. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's tattoo exam or an ABC exam, which is alcohol beverage control exam. It doesn't matter. So
No.
watch how Brandy does it, take notes on it, and then apply it. And then how do we get good at things? Well, the application part, right? We want you to practice. So that's rule number two. We want you to practice. We want you to go get a 10 question, 10-minute flash quiz, whatever exam you're using, whatever Q bank, whatever function, whatever unit, whatever section, whatever area, whatever thing you're doing, go open that up, do 10 questions, try some of these techniques out, and start getting good at that technique. It is a skill set that we're teaching here, so it takes a minute to learn that stuff.
Correct.
And the only way you can get through it, and the only way to learn it is one, be a member if you want to learn how to really do it. Two, practice over and over again.
Correct.
Let's go.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Call a bull, put a bull, maturity, convert a bull. Honestly, I said there's no way. But look, check this out. A bull, ibble, knowable.
When you say knowable, there's no bull.
There's no a bull.
No BLE at the end.
Right, right.
Of any kind.
Right. There's no bull.
No bull.
No bull.
No obble, no bull.
Bonds can be issued, features accept. Oh, I should have said this one's different, right? And that's it, guys. This maturity is not a feature, it's a fact.
Yes.
It's not a feature, it's a characteristic.
Just like your age. When you apply maturity to your age, it's just a characteristic.
Right.
Whatever age that is.
Right. Yeah, that's it. That's easy, right? Yes, that's easy. Yes.
Done. No bull.
Oh, but this one's longer, right? So I literally went like this. I did my same old, right? Reminder, the gift is occasional items. And I went, oh, I'm so tired.
We really are.
And then I saw the 100. And then I just clicked it.
Why? Because a number was there. That's why.
There's just something magical about one answer choice that has an actual digit, usually the answer.
The one thing that we get asked all the time, especially when people apply these into their own quizzes, they go, do I do this every single time? Look, if you don't know anyway, sure. What do you have to lose? Go for it all day long. But if you do know something about something, I would lean on that, and then I would just go read my question and see if that's a right.
Right. As a starting point. That's
Right.
what I would say. As a starting point. And then you confirm it. Like if you guys were taking like this test for real, like when I mean for real, I mean like you're doing your practice test or whatever, right? Your practice exams. I'm gonna feel like the answer is B, and then I'm gonna go into the question. And if there's no reason why it's not B, I'm just gonna pick it, right? Or like Andy said, if I'm just purely guessing anyways, I'm gonna pick B because it's the only one with a number. Right? And then you're gonna learn after it anyways. So there you go. Right? All right. So I'm gonna put that on the screen. All right. 10%, 10%, 10%. So none of that is gonna matter. Does that make sense? I don't have to focus on that because that's all the same. But then I see D rated, non-rated, state, and B rated. So I'm going to look at these two. One's a D, one's a B.
D is bad, B is better.
Pretty much. If I see D rated, I'm probably not going into that restaurant.
Yeah.
And be quite honest, I'm probably not going into a B either.
Just to follow my analogy, that's some bad beans.
Yes, but at least it's better than a D. I would be happy if my kids bring home a B. There's going to be some conversations and some phones taken away if they bring home a D.
I'm saying the D grade is a bad beans. That's some bad
Do you
beans.
see what I'm saying? Do you guys see what I'm saying? All right. So I have to match it up. But am I happy or am I sad? Which of the following bonds likely carries the highest risk?
Well,
The one that's sad face.
that's a risky burrito, my friend. That's a risky burrito. That'll decide your day.
That will do not eat a D-rated burrito before your test. Just saying. All right.
You should really know your techniques. You might not have a lot of time.
All right. So I have current yield, yield to maturity. So one of the things I'm going to point out here is that that says current, that says maturity, that says call, and that says nominal. All of these say yield, so that's not going to be a key factor, right? Like if we're talking about Mondays, I can cross off yield because every answer has yield in it.
Yeah.
So obviously we're talking about yields.
Right.
Total rate of return that an investor will receive if a bond is held until it's
Simply matching. It's called the match game.
That's it. That's it.
Remember the match game?
I feel like I do. Okay. Okay. So I was looking at this one, and we know that high inflation is bad, right?
Yeah, no one likes that.
Mild inflation is good because it means you're growing. This also has an and that has an and. There's no and there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was kind of going through here, and I'm like, well, I'm going to focus on C and D because they both have the word and in it.
Mm-hmm.
And mild makes me happy.
Okay.
Okay. So I read C. Mild inflation can encourage growth and stimulate the economy. Okay. Well, that matches the happy face.
Pretty factual.
Mild inflation can thwart. Okay. Who says this? Who says this in real life?
Probably not a lot of people say thwart.
No.
Since probably the 1800s.
Correct. This is a word that we see in our literature books.
Right.
Not necessarily in a securities exam. So I'm going with C.
If you come at me with thwart, I'm dubious of your intentions.
Basically, best reflects this impact thing.
I'm not bagging on you if you got a big vocabulary. I'm just
If you
saying.
do, that's great. It just doesn't apply to this.
Just not a normal thing to say in 2025.
Fart.
I just said I'm very dubious.
There, exactly.
Who is thwarting who?
Exactly.
That is the question.
All right. 5023.
What, the thwart?
Right?
No, I'm just kidding.
Look, okay, so here's one of these other random things. For some reason, when you see the third number, so if I went 0, 2, 3, 5, that's the third number. Does this work every single time?
Again, this is a technique and strategy, especially if you don't know what's going on.
For those of you who panic with numbers, this is a great tool to have. Does that make sense?
Third highest? Tres leches?
Right.
Pick that one.
If you do not like calls or puts.
Some people are feeling like they just had that bad burrito when they see that.
Right. Just pick the third number. That's it.
That's it.
I mean, I'm not supposed to show you content, but just trust.
This works.
It's 3.
And if you want to know why, scan the QR code, join in, hit that content.
Yeah, we are talking about options in the SIE tomorrow morning.
Yeah, be there in that live.
That's right. That's it. 6 questions.
We did it?
That's
What,
it.
there's one. I thought there was one more.
Ah,
really? Wow. So look at how fast that was.
That was.
Wow. No one even tried to thwart the process.
Nobody thwarted.
Nobody thwarted. Not even Kona over there. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We will be back for those member sessions tomorrow. Brandy's going over those tough topics in the SIE and the 65. You definitely want to be there. And if you need to get some help with that studying, we got the study hall. We got the small group tutoring. Be there. Take advantage. Do that. But most importantly, we'll be back for the studying brew tomorrow night as well. For the Series 6, 6 different questions, 6 different exams, a little bit of content, a little bit of technique. Doesn't matter. We're going to show you how to get that pass notice as we always. So be sure to stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Man, I am tired. Be sure to wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your first face. That's all I know. Keep the positive mental attitude. PMA. Everybody have a great night.
Thank you all so much for being on. We super appreciate
You too. Look at that.
these techniques in your quizzes. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one.